I wonder which, since GPAC is all pride in their authorship, along with Mr. Morgan, I just wonder why they hate Star Wars so much. You see, this is a picture of Obi-Wan's lightsaber from the original Star Wars movie. And you know what they used to make that, the prop masters? They actually used a World War I No. 3 Mark I British rifle grenade launcher. They also used a flash hider and booster from an A&M-2 50 caliber Browning machine gun. So the question is, as a good law-abiding citizen and Star Wars fan, do I have to register my lightsaber? Because I actually have these parts.
If it meets the definitions in the PICA Act, then it will be subject to regulation and the endorsement affidavit process.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Freedom Steel, another edition here. Todd Vandermide, former NRA contract lobbyist and Illinois gun law guru. And that opening right there was from my testimony a couple of weeks ago in front of the public hearings held by the state police over the rules that have been proposed to implement Illinois' gun ban and registration scheme. So in there, brought up something that was kind of funny, because under the Illinois assault weapons ban, semi-auto ban, gun ban, PICO, whatever you want to call it, you have to do a couple of things if you want to keep stuff that you already have. You have to register your firearms if you want to continue to use them within the state. You also have to register any components or, quote, attachments. Now, there is subpart I within the Act which deals with parts, but the other part of the law deals with attachments, things that they claim will turn a gun into or make it a so-called assault weapon. And because of that, happen to be a bit of a Star Wars fan, I brought up this picture. And what this is this goes back to when prop masters didn't have all the access to CNC machines and CAD and everything that they had that they do today. So if you go back to the original Star Wars movie, which they now call Episode 4, but was the first one when I was growing up, and Alec Guinness played Obi-Wan Kenobi, and in there he had his lightsaber, and his lightsaber was actually cobbled together out of other things. And so back then they were cobbled together. So the emitter end of the lightsaber was crafted out of part of a Rolls-Royce jet engine. The next part moving down from the top was a No. 3 Mark I World War I British rifle grenade with the part of the launcher on it. That's an interesting part. Then the handle was the Gray Flex flash from there. Part of that included the part that was behind that red display on a Texas Instrument calculator. Then you had an A&M-2 booster from a Browning 50 caliber machine gun, and then you had a faucet knob. So when you cobbled all of those things together, you end up with something like this. So here's the Rolls-Royce jet engine balancer type part. This part here, right here, was the rifle grenade with launcher. It's inverted here. This is actually the grenade portion. This is part of the launcher mechanism, and all that's down here. This part here is the camera flash handle. These little bumps here were behind the screen. So whatever display you saw on the old red Texas Instruments calculators, nope, these are what illuminated those little tiny diodes and whatever. This part here is part of an A&M2, an aircraft style Browning 50 caliber machine gun. And then this part here was a faucet knob. And so my question there was, if you have these parts, what do you do? Because it says if you have accessories and the such, you're supposed to register them. And so I've seen some comments online. Some guys were, you're making fun, our rights are at stake. It was like, yeah, I'm trying to point out the absurd by being absurd. As Rush Limbaugh used to say, we're trying to illustrate just how ludicrous and how off the wall their law is. And it goes farther than this. It really does. Because if you happen to be kind of a Star Wars geek or a cosplay person or just somebody that's in the Comic-Con and all that kind of stuff, it also goes after all kinds of prop guns and things like that. And, let's have a look-see here. So most common one, the Stormtrooper's blaster, the E11 blaster. So here's a picture of it. And it was based on a Sterling submachine gun. So remember, the first Star Wars movies were filmed over in London. And the prop houses over there had a ton of World War II firearms. I mean, these were being done in the 70s. So you weren't that far removed from World War II and everything. And with it, they had all this stuff. So they would just tweak those in the prop shops to make what they want. So they add some, the optic on this was actually some telescopic piece. It wasn't even a real sight. And then they had a bunch of these fins and rails to make the blaster. And they added a couple other doodads here or there, and that was it. It came in a couple of different variations. A winter version for the troopers on Hoth and stuff like that. And believe it or not, a separate version of this was what the rebels used as an E11 blaster. Han Solo's firearm was a Mauser broom handle with a flash hider on it. They did all kinds of cobbling together of parts when they did that. World War II Sten machine guns were used in several of the instances. And as they kept going on, they even used AR platform guns as some of the basics for what they did. So the point I was trying to make at that committee hearing was that because of this ban on parts and on quote attachments, that people aren't going to know what they can and can't get. You can't, if you're going to be a Star Wars cosplayer or participate in Comic-Con or that guy, you can't build a lot of this stuff because, you can't get an 80% AR receiver due to Illinois' ghost gun laws, as well as the federal rule that is being litigated, and then try to build up an Endor blaster or one of these other ones, with the various parts just for cosplay. Can't do it. And that's how broad this ban is. That's the point I was trying to make at the hearing. Some people seem to just miss that what we're trying to do is that this ban goes a lot broader than anybody thought, that it's going to scoop up a lot of other things that they haven't contemplated. And that was it. So guys, I hope you enjoy this little kind of fun tidbit here. To everybody, I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope that everybody is enjoying their time with family and get a few hours to at least settle down and decompress for a little bit. I know we are going to do that around our house and everything. So, as always, thank you once again for all your support as we rock up towards that 10,000 subscriber number. And please like, subscribe, share, copy and paste the link for this and share it around to all your friends. And as always, frag out.